It's changed in terms of firefighting strategy from just a couple of years ago. On the smaller screen, that is the destructive Tubbs fire from 2017. On the bigger screen behind me, the Kincade fire. Both big fires, both burning through the same counties. But as KPIX 5's Wilson Walker shows us, quite a different outcome this time around. Wilson?
Absolutely. I think where I'm standing really tells the story of the Kincade fire. We're right on Highway 128. Now, this fire, Sunday morning, with all of those winds, came racing down that ridge. As you can see, it jumped the highway, burned these trees, absolutely reached this property. But look what's behind me. What really matters is still here. And as you can see, there is evidence laying around of why that is. There were folks here to protect this house. The people who live in this house were safely out of harm's way. This is how this is all supposed to work. And it didn't work this way by accident.
There's fires everywhere. I've been sent in 3 different directions.
And I overheard some guys over there that they got houses and families over there.
We essentially had a blowtorch in one direction, sustained winds, no let up at all.
October 8th, 2017, flames erupt across Napa and Sonoma counties. Most of those who ran for their lives that night had little to no warning.
Go, 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 go! Show us us!
Well, there is a big difference between October 17 and today, and the biggest difference is that we had some warning. We had really good predictions from CAL FIRE and the weather folks to tell us where it was going to be going. On top of that, we now have the alert and warning systems in place that we didn't have in 2017. We were able to warn these people over, hours in advance.
Sonoma County Sheriff Mark Essex says 2 years of effort paid off over the last week. In the early hours, it was better information, earlier warnings, and practiced evacuation plans. And once people were safely out of the way, the cavalry could deploy in full.
It was like going to war. You couldn't go more than probably a few hundred feet without having a fire truck and a water tender. Those men and women were ready for battle.
CAL FIRE, who now pre-positions crews in high-risk areas, was everywhere. When embers shot past fire lines, there was someone there with a hose. When homes caught fire, there was probably someone there to rip the burning wood away. And while homes were lost, entire neighborhoods were saved. This is a skill that has come with much practice over the past 2 years. CAL FIRE has been chasing flames all across the state, but for residents of the North Bay, learning how to better respond to wildfire is a lesson that has come with a tremendous price.
We are learning. Unfortunately, we're learning the hard way through some very hard times.
All right, as you can see, firefighters cut their way in here. Something to think about. I've seen this in a number of properties. Make sure there is room for one of those large trucks to get in here, because those trucks being on this property absolutely saved this house. Now, what comes next? The sheriff says evacuation is something they're going to keep working on. They're going to make everyone super familiar with these zones, zone 1, zone 2 that they've been talking about all week. Those are going to kind of become permanent attachments to where you live. You will know which evacuation zone you live in. They might even move on to a system of names, which would make them more geographic specific. But this is something they're going to keep working on. There will be another fire. We are live in Sonoma County. Wilson Walker, KPIX 5.